All right, everyone. Right now, we're going to go over question E from that math antics video that you watched, and I gave you some practice. So this question's very similar. It's just arranged a little differently. So you have 18 equals negative y plus 6. Now, that video told you that if you want to get y, a positive y, you can move it. You can decide where you want your variables and your constants to be. Do you want your variables on this side of the equation? Do you want your constants on this one? You make that decision. So in this case, to make it positive, this person decided that they would take this positive y and make a zero pair between these two. Negative y plus y becomes 0. So those actually do cross out. And when you cross those out, you have to go over onto this side and add a y, which was done. So this is what you got right here. 18 plus y equals 6. Well, this person realized that they need to get all of their constants over here. And the only way that they can do that is to subtract here by 18 because you're making a zero pair and you'll be left with 1y. So when they did that, they brought it over here. 6 take away 18 gives you negative 12, and that is your answer. We can simply check, like we did in question D, by substituting in the negative 12, and I use these brackets to substitute in. And when you substitute into this equation that you started with, you'll notice you're going to have to really rely on your integer operations. Because when I subtract a negative number, that does become a positive, right? So this is actually positive 12. So 12 plus 6 is 18. 18 on this side, 18 on this side. The values match, therefore we know it's correct. Solving another way, like we did before on question, I showed you on question D. What we can do is we can leave that negative variable here. Whoa, crazy. That's, I'm telling you something. I'm not spending more time trying to figure this out. Creating another video. Sorry, guys. All right, so what you can do is you could keep that negative y there, but we're going to move the constants over to this side. So in order to do that, I need to take away 6 to get a zero pair. That's going to leave, once I cross that out, it's going to leave that alone, negative y alone. And then when I take away 6 from 18, I am left with negative 12. Negative 12. No, that's not right, is it? Thanks for catching that. Doesn't make any sense. I'm just left with 12. So when I'm just left with 12, I can then think about this. And I don't want negative y, I want y. Let me pretend, or not pretend because it's actually there. There is an invisible 1 there. We are actually saying that negative y is the same as negative 1 times y. And you know from watching Math Antics Part 2 that to get x alone, I have to do the inverse operation. So if this is multiplication, negative 1 times y, I have to divide by negative 1. If I do that, y becomes positive because these two cancel out. But what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. 12 divided by negative 1. And when I do that, my answer becomes negative 12. And we know that that is correct because it corresponds here with what we got.